Hey y'all, Bridget Bartlett here. Today I am going to show you how to connect your Facebook group with your HighLevel account. So this becomes incredibly useful when you have a group and you are interested in collecting the email address, and if you have additional questions. I'm actually going to show you how to send that data to HighLevel so that you can trigger the appropriate automations and campaigns to send out to them. Okay. So the very first thing that you need to do is you need to create the questions in your group. So you can see here, I'm actually in my group. If you're not a member yet, you can go to Digital Marketing Training, Scale Your Vision at AI, or with AI, you can join our group. So if you go to the membership questions tab and you create your questions here, I only actually have 2 of them. To become a member, they do need to answer this question and put their email address here. They also need to select one of these options. Now, I do think that when you are creating your questions, for example, if I wanted to create this question here, I could just type in the question and then I can choose check boxes, multiple choice, or written answer. I would not choose the written answer because you want to be able to control the answer that is given. And that's what's going to trigger the automations. Okay, so I would definitely use checkbox or multiple choice. All right, so when you get your questions created, the next step is you want to create a Groupkii account. Okay, so if you are a member of our program, you do get a free premium Groupkii account as part of your membership. That is a Chrome extension, so you want to make sure to, once you create your account, check your email, get your login credentials, you'll get access to the link to install into your Chrome browser. Okay. Now, all you need to do to add your group is go to the group and then just click add group. And then you'll see here that it adds the group right here. So you can add multiple groups if need be. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and click in here and you'll see that I already have approval on. This is what is going to basically scroll your group members if you have member requests, and then it's going to start doing whatever it is you told it to do. Okay, so it's going to approve the members based on the criteria that we set. So if I have this turned on here, it's going to basically look for new group members to approve every 2 minutes. All right, you may want to change this to 60 minutes or whatever. If you're using this, it's going to pop up the windows just like Messenger does when you are sending the info. So just make sure that you're turning this on when you're walking away or whatever, and then when you're done with it, go ahead and turn that off. Okay, so you don't want it to conflict with all of the automations that are running, like with Messenger and other things that you're doing. Okay, so turn it on when you're ready for it to scan to approve, and then turn it off when you're done. You can set the different criteria here to auto approve your new members based on their gender, location, how many number of mutual friends or friends in the group with them, number of groups in common. So you can set all of that as your criteria. All questions answered, and email is dropped in one of the questions. You need to make sure that that's toggled on and you do have a question that asks for the email address so that it will collect it. Also, do you want them to agree to the group rules? You can toggle that on if yes. And if you want to send them a welcome message, you can toggle that on here and then add your message. You can also send a decline message, and then, of course, you would toggle this on and add the message there. Okay, so it's really simple. You just toggle that on, type in the message. You can use the message variables and segments there as well. You could even share an image if you wanted to. Okay, so when you get all of this criteria set, of course, you want to click Save and Update. The next thing is you can create a welcome post. This is great if you don't have that many members, but if you are approving, 10 or 20 members at a time, you definitely don't want this on because that's going to create a post to welcome those members. And then also the next step is the Google Sheet. Okay, so there are actually 2 things that you want to integrate here to get this result. Okay, now the only reason that we need the Google Sheet is because they are still working on creating a webhook for this, but the Google Sheet actually works incredibly well, especially since HighLevel has the option to look up on a Google Sheet inside the workflow. This is so easy and cool. Okay, so this is, you want to go ahead and, toggle on. This will be turned off if you are just installing. You want to toggle that on, and then you're going to get this Google Sheet. And when you open this up, you're going to see an example like this. Okay, so when that's toggled on, it's going to push that member and all of the questions into the Google Sheet. And then what we want to do is we want to tell HighLevel, hey, look up this on the Google Sheet, and when you when you find this contact, we want you to update the profile. Okay, but of course they need to find the contact, right? So what we want to do is go into the extension, and we want to click up here where it says integration. You're going to click there, and you're going to choose from the drop-down menu. You see that you can integrate with all of these options. You're going to choose the drop-down menu, GHL, and you're going to want to grab your location API, not the agency, but the location. You're going to go into the sub-account. You're going to go to the settings, business profile. You're going to click the little clipboard here to copy your API, and then you're going to paste that in there. Okay. Now, when you do that, what happens is when they have answered all of the questions and you go to approve them, it's actually going to send their name and email address into your HighLevel account. Okay. Now, that is super, super cool. When it does that, it's going to create a tag, and that is what we can set up to trigger the automations. Okay. So before we get to that, though, what's really cool about this as well is you can actually set this up in Messenger to tag all of your group members when they're approved. That's really easy to do. All you want to do is go into Messenger, and you can choose the tag, whatever the tag name is. I'm just going to say Facebook group. I'm going to choose a color. Let's say this blue color. And then here I want to set it as default. Okay, so it does need to be the default tag for it to automatically add these members to the Messenger. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and save that there. And now I don't need Messenger anymore. I can just close out of that, because as soon as the group members are approved, it creates that tag, and then it goes into Messenger. When you are approving the group members, make sure that you are logged into Messenger as well when you're doing that. Now, the next step. Okay, so we have looked over Groupkii. We have created our default tag in Messenger. We've connected the API. We have set it to send the data to the Google Sheet. Now, inside of our HighLevel account, what we need to do is go to the settings and go to custom fields. And we're actually going to create some custom fields so that we can actually get all of that data from the Google Sheet and send it to HighLevel and tell HighLevel where and what that data is, where we want it to put it, and what the data is. Okay, so you'll see here that we have group name, we have the name, we have the link, and that would be the link to their profile, where they live, the groups in common, the friends in common, mutual friends, and then we have question 1 and the answer to question 1. We have question 2 and the answer to question 2. And then question 3 and the answer to question 3. Okay, you can only ask a total of 3 questions on in the Facebook group. Okay. So the first question is obviously their email address, and then question 2 is, are they familiar with HighLevel? So if we go back to my questions here, here is the first question. Okay, so the answer to that is going to be in that answer column, answer 1. And then the next question is, HighLevel is one of the main tools we use in our training. Are you familiar with HighLevel? And here are the answers that they could give. Okay, so that question would be here in question 2, and then their answer would be in A2. All right, so that's really important when it comes to mapping these things out. Now, I actually created custom fields here for each of the questions, but probably won't use all of those questions. It's just cool to know that you can utilize all that information. And if you're unfamiliar, you can actually organize all of your custom fields that you're creating in folders now. So you can see here, I have a section right here that says Facebook group questions, and then I have all of my custom fields here. Now, to add a custom field, all you need to do is go to add field. You're going to want to choose single line here, go next, and then type in whatever it is that you want. For example, if this was Facebook question 1, which I'm not going to submit this, but if it was, I would say Facebook question 1. I'm going to add this to the folder that I created that is Facebook group questions. And then I could add a placeholder here if I wanted to, but once I get that set, I'm going to go ahead and choose save. Now, when you do that, what's really cool is it's going to create this section here. Like you can see, I have general, additional, onboarding, consultations, and affiliate. If I go back here to the custom fields here, you'll see these are all of the custom fields folders that I have. So that actually shows up here in this area. So if you have, if you want to add this here and be able to see these questions, that makes it really easy when someone messages you and you see all of the answers to those questions in the Facebook group, okay? So that's really cool. So you're going to choose, you don't have to create all of these, but you definitely want to choose whatever questions that you are going to use, okay? And then create those custom fields. Now, inside of the workflow, and let me just go back and show you here. So you want to go to automations, and I created a workflow here. And the trigger for this workflow is going to be the Groupkii tag. Now, to see what this actual tag is, you need to approve your first group member because it's going to be different based on whatever the name of your group is. But it's going to be Groupkii with a little trademark and then the hyphen and then your group name. So, you know, if one space is off, it could change the tag. So I just say it's better to just approve the first one, and then you can see in your contacts, you know, what this is. You can even search or look in your tags for Groupkii, and then you'll find it there. Okay. So what I'm doing is I created the trigger for this workflow to be this tag, because since we have the API connected to Groupkii, it's going to pull in the name and the email address and create a contact. Okay. But it's also going to tag the contact with this tag. So that is going to be the trigger for this workflow automation. All right. So now we have our trigger. Now we want to tell the workflow what to do when a new contact receives that tag. Okay, so we want it to actually look up, and this is where the Google Sheet comes in. We want it to look up the Google Sheet that we tell it to look up here, and then we're telling it when you look that up in column A1. Okay, and remember A1 is this column right here. We have question 1 and we have answer 1, question 2, answer 2. Okay, so here we are saying go to look up. Let me actually start from scratch. That way you guys can see. So this step here, I'm just going to do Google Sheet, and I'm selecting the action, and I'm going to do look up spreadsheet, because remember, we already have one. So we don't want to delete rows. We don't want to update rows. We don't want to create a new row. We just want to look up the rows that are already there. Okay, so I'm going to choose look up, and now I need to choose our Google account that our spreadsheet is in. Okay, so when you open that up, it is going to open in your Google account. And so this is my Google account here. I'm going to choose the drive. I'm going to choose, it's my drive. And then I need to select my spreadsheet. So this is the spreadsheet. I put a little mark there to let me know which one was the newest one. And now I need to choose, is it sheet 1? Okay, there's only one sheet in the spreadsheet. And when they're referring to sheet, they're referring to this down here. Okay, so if you have multiple different sheets, of course, that would make a difference. But in this case, we just have one. So I'm going to choose the spreadsheet, or the sheet 1. We're going to search from the top of the sheet down. And now I need to tell it, what are we actually searching for? Okay, so I want to use something that is common, that would be, make sense for us to link to this person. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to find the email address. Well, where is the email address going to be in that Google spreadsheet? It's going to be in column A1, because that is the answer to question 1, right? So the answer to question 1 is actually going to be their email address. Okay, so that would be right here. So what we want to do is we want to give it the value now. So the answer, we want it to look up in the column A1, and the value that is there is the email address. Okay, so I'm going to now go to, let's see, where is, oh, I already have this I'm trying to do. Okay, So I'm going to look up on the one now that I already had. So I'm looking up column A1, and then what I want to do is I want to choose the value. So you'll see down here, Google Sheet lookup. So I'm going to click here, and then now I'm going to put whatever I want to be this value, or whatever I want to look up is going to be, I want to put that value here. So I'm going to choose column A1 is actually going to be this here. Okay, so I'm sorry, it's going to be the contact email. I'm so sorry. This is why I do this stuff ahead of time, because it gets confusing when I'm live. Okay, so we're choosing column A1, and then what we're doing is actually making that the contact value. Okay, so that's what we're doing. We're saying whatever info is in column A1, that is going to be the contact's value, okay, or the contact's email. All right, so it's going to look that up based on the email. Then what I want to do is I actually want to update the contact. So it's going to find that email. And remember, it's already in our system because we had the API connected. So it already created the contact and all of that. Now we want to take that contact's info and we want to look up on the spreadsheet to find that email address. Then once we find the email address, what we're going to do is we're actually going to update the contact field. And we're going to choose from the fields, and then we're going to tell it the answer. Okay, so it's easy to choose a field. You're just going to choose here for field. You're going to scroll down and you'll see you want to be in custom fields because that's the fields that we created, right? And you're just going to choose the question or the value or the field that you want to map out. Okay, so if I wanted to choose like Facebook mutual friends here and I wanted to map that out, I would go to Google Sheet lookup here for lookup, and then friends in common, okay, or mutual friends or whatever I chose there. I'm not going to actually choose that because really the only thing that I want is the Facebook profile link and the answer to question 2, okay, because the answer to question 2 is, are they familiar with HighLevel? Okay, so now that I've updated all of that, what I want to do is I want to tag them with Messenger Pro Basic. All right. Now, remember, when you're a member, you have all of these softwares that you can use for lead magnets. One great strategy of growing your group is to say, join our group and get a free Messenger Pro account. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to add this tag. Now, when your account is already set up, all you have to do to create an account is to simply add a tag to any contact. So in this workflow, I'm just going to add that tag here. And then when it creates the contact, it goes through this process, looks up the spreadsheet, updates the contact field. It's also going to add this Messenger Basic tag, and then it will trigger the automations that will create that account for them and then send them login credentials. Okay. Now, the next step here is we need to use a conditional logic to say, okay, this contact came in, we found them in the spreadsheet, we've updated their contact field, we've added the tag for Messenger Basic, but now we need to send them an email based on how they answered that question. Okay, so you want to choose a conditional logic by clicking on the plus sign there, and you're going to go all the way down to you see if else, and then you see this condition, which is, are they familiar with HighLevel? And then the answers basically are the branches that we are creating. So this would be answer 1. We'd add another branch for answer 2. Now I already have this created because like I said, it's easier for me when I'm live. I don't have to think. I can just explain to you what I did. Okay. So the conditional logic, the condition is actually, are they familiar with HighLevel? Okay. Now, when you don't have to like fill these out, but you can see when you're looking at your workflow, it makes it a lot easier to see, okay, familiar with HighLevel. Yes, I have a HighLevel account. Yes, I am a sub account in someone else's. And no. So I see all of my answers here. All right. Now, I do have an extra column here, and this is the none. And that is because for some kooky reason, sometimes, even though you don't have a write-in option here when they answer the question, sometimes Facebook allows them to do that. So that's really kooky, and I'm not really sure how or why that happens. But it's a Facebook thing, and it's something we just have to deal with. Okay, so I wanted a none column so that if they do write it in and their answer is not what I'm asking it, then they're going to still receive an email anyway, and we're going to update the opportunity. Okay, so I'm going to click here now. My conditional name is familiar with HighLevel. So are they familiar? What are the 3 answers? So if I look at my questions here, you'll see all I had to do is copy this, okay? Because if they choose this, all they need to do is click that option, and then they're choosing this answer, okay? So going back to my workflow now, here is the first answer. So I'm choosing from this here, okay? I'm choosing standard fields, or I'm sorry, I'm choosing custom fields, and you'll see if you scroll down now, it's going to find Facebook question 2. So Facebook question 2 is what I'm using on all of these, okay? So if the answer to Facebook question 2 is, and you can choose from the drop-down menu, is not, contains, does not contain. If it is, yes, I have a HighLevel account, that is what's going to trigger this branch here, okay? If the answer is, yes, I am a sub-account in someone else's agency, then it's going to choose this branch here. Okay, so I can segment this out so that I can send them different emails based on their answer. So then number 3, no, I am not. But I am interested to learn more. Okay, so if the Facebook question 2 is no, but I'm interested to learn more, then we have this 3rd branch. Okay, so I don't have any other branches, and so that's where I have this none. Okay, it automatically will create the none branch for you. All right. Now, if they have a HighLevel account, I'm going to send them an email. And in this email, it's going to say the same information as the other emails, with the exception of one place. So I'm saying, welcome to the group. Here's all the cool things that you get. If you're interested in joining our program, since you already have a HighLevel account, here's your option. Okay, so then here's the next step. Okay, so everything's the same, da 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 da. Since you don't have a HighLevel account yet, here's your option. Okay, here's the next one. Because they don't have a HighLevel account if they're a sub account in someone else's agency. Okay, so again, here's basically the same one, except I'm saying since you don't have a HighLevel account yet, you can. Here's how you create it. Now, I also created this one here in the none column just to capture any that did not make it. And I just said, since you don't have a HighLevel account yet, or we could even change this to say if you don't have a HighLevel account yet. Okay, so we're going to do save. And now this workflow is going to trigger anytime we go to our group. We go to member requests. We're going to go up here to turn this on, okay? And it's going to look every 2 minutes. That's how we set. We may want to change it to 60 or something like that, and then do save and update. Okay, so we're coming back here. We're turning this on. It's answering all of the, or it's responding to all the member requests based on our criteria. That contact is going to go into our HighLevel account. It's going to update the fields in the profile like we told it to, and then it's going to look up, it's going to look up the spreadsheet that first it's going to create the row here, right? Then it's going to add that tag and the contact to HighLevel. It's going to look up the row in the spreadsheet that it was added to. It's going to update the contact fields like I showed you here. It's also going to tag with L Messenger, so that tag will be here. And then it's going to go through this filter here. Okay, so depending on however they answered the question, they will receive the appropriate email. And then also we can update the opportunity pipeline with whatever stage that they're in. Okay, so this is an incredible strategy to grow your Facebook community. Also, it's a great way to capture all of the leads going into your Facebook group, because the very last thing you would ever want to do is grow your group to thousands and thousands of members, and then Facebook just completely shuts down your group for whatever reason, which they notoriously do. And then now all of your members and your whole community, if you don't have their email addresses, there's no way for you to contact those members. Okay. So being able to grow your community and then offer them free tools just for joining is also a great lead magnet and a great way to promote all of the things that you're offering, and give them some incentive and a tool that they could actually use to grow their business and get leads. Okay. So that is all that I had for you guys today. Remember, if you're not a member yet, you could go to bridgetbartlett.com. Even if you are already a HighLevel member, we have options for you as well. So thank you all so much for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Go make your vision a reality. Bye. Thank you so much for joining us for today's training. If you have any questions, you can join us for open office hours starting right now at bridgetbartlett.com. It's free and open to everyone, so I'll see you there.